letting it slip. Like, it's understandable that he would have tried to rein her in because he knew that at some point Richard was going to just kill her and escape.
Yeah. In my opinion, he would have known that he wouldn't have had the ability to do it until he had given him the information that he did. Because Richard, being from Westland, not knowing anything about magic, would have no idea how to handle a Mord Sith at all. So Darken knew he had all the information he needed to say, okay, this isn't going to happen until I give him some small bit of information that he's going to need. And there's no guarantee that he's even going to be able to figure it out because he doesn't know how intelligent Richard is until he actually gets the meeting and talk to him and say, this guy's a fucking smartass.
He went in holding a whole bunch of cards, and then as they were talking, was like, okay, I could show him a couple of my cards because I now have a measure of him. Yeah. And that's what allowed Richard to be able to do it.
Right.
Got it.
And Richard still needed time to figure it out because he's like, okay, I got this information. And he had to have time to chew on it, and that's why going to the devotion helped him out because that allowed him to have the time to chew on that and say, okay, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? Well, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It was that simple this whole time.
It was so easy. Which, by that point, it ends up feeling like it kind of is, because it's like, duh, it seems pretty easy, because every time you felt a little bit of compassion, or like you felt bad for anybody, you had the white hot fever inside of you.
That even goes back to when he was able to break the power to kick Violet and sever her tongue. He actually felt some sympathy for Violet at that point because it's like, you're harming this child by allowing her to do this, and he felt that small tinge of sympathy, which is what allowed him to actually kick her teeth away.
I feel so bad for you. I'm going to shatter your jaw.
You really, really need this here.
Let me give you some discipline.
Tough love. Look it up.
Yeah. Definition of tough love. So Richard, while he's thinking, he figures that he knows that it has to be Zed or Kaylin who betrayed him because Shota gave that prophecy about them using their powers against him. And so that's depressing, but that's a thing for later. He can't deal with that right now. He's got to go deal with dinner.
Yeah, but he's also confused by it because it's like, if it was Zed that betrayed him, why would he try to trap him in the underworld with the Night Stone?
Right.
And if it was Kaylin that betrayed him, why would he need to send 2 quads out to capture her?
Right.
So it doesn't fit as to, okay, one of these 2 betrayed me. It doesn't make sense. And of course it doesn't make sense because he's forgetting a third option.
Yes. He's forgetting the real person.
Yes. Right. I really like the point that you brought up. It should be super easy to bring one of those people in if one of them had, in fact, betrayed Richard. Yeah. They probably would be less afraid of Rahl and more willing to come to the castle.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't make sense. And Richard's really not thinking because of the fact he knows that Kaylin and Zed don't have the box. So if the box is on the way to Rahl, who has the box?
Right.
Because whoever betrayed him and is bringing the box to Rahl is the same one who betrayed him.
Right. And he doesn't even know Zed's name. That's probably the first thing he would have told him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, he's missing a connection, but hey, he's been being tortured for 3 weeks. His mind's a little jumbled.
Yeah, I guess we can cut him a little bit of slack. He's had it rough for a minute.
He's not great at this point.
So before he goes into Denna, he does think about what Darken was saying, and he kind of figures it out. He thinks about how it turned his vision white, and it filled him with something other than hate every single time. Like we were talking about, the compassion, empathy, all the good things that allow you to murder.
He kind of figures out the puzzle that Rahl gave him.
He hates riddles.
I'm surprised he didn't yell at him and be like, hey, that's a riddle. I refuse. You tell me what you mean right now.
He'd be like, well, are you a freaking witch, you pussy? Man up.
Yeah, tell me what you mean.
Man up, goddammit.
Grow a full set, Darken. You got that one little burned one.
Richard probably doesn't want to talk about that. He
no,
doesn't
probably
want to see it. Keep that away.
He'll do something weird.
He's already licking his fingers in a really strange way throughout that whole interaction. But sometimes he was licking and then touching the eyebrows, but sometimes it said he was just licking his fingers.
Yeah.
Weird.
I can't.
He's weird.
Well, it's the only thing he could touch, when he was recovering from the burns Ed gave him.
Right, and that makes sense. I just, without knowing that bit of knowledge, if I met Darken Rahl, I'd be like, I'm going to need you to stop.
You're creeping me out, man. Put the fingers down.
Hold them at your sides, okay? Cross them, I don't know, figure it out. So, once in Denna's room, Richard sees her sitting on the bed, naked, and her hair's down, with her Geo hanging, down.
Yeah.
She's prepared herself.
Yeah.
She knows that he's there to kill her. And he calls her mistress for the first time willingly, and he does it because he's forgiven her at this point. He's not mad at Denna anymore. He knows that everything that happened came from somewhere else.
Just mistress, not the full mistress Denna, just plain mistress.
Right.
Yeah, because he's been adding her name to fuck you a little bit this whole time.
Try to humanize her a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's like, why are you naked? It's like, well, everything I own is Mord Sith, and I don't want to die as a Mord Sith. I just want to die as Denna.
Which was so sad.
Yeah.
But I don't know, sad but cool at the same time, because she was like, yeah, no, I'm going to be me.
Yeah, it's not about her position with Lord Rahl anymore. This is between two people that have an actual real bond.
I've taken out the braid. I've combed my hair. I don't have anything that's not Mord Sith clothing, so I'm going out the way I came in, butt ass naked.
Yep. He's like a little baby. And he does actually talk about her a little bit kind of like a child in the scene. He doesn't see her in a different way anymore.
Yeah, because he's seeing her, as that poor child who was abducted and tortured and broken, and so it's like he has to see her that way for the sympathy to really take effect.
Yeah,
it's like this poor tortured child.
Yeah, you can't see her as the femme fatale that has been torturing him for the last little chunk of time.
Right. So she knew that he was coming to kill her, because Darken told her about the prophecy that said there was a seeker that would master the sword and turn it white. If he was the one, he would kill her. And she had chosen to be his Mord Sith. So she knew all of this from the start.
Right. That's why she had to volunteer for it instead of being ordered to do it. She had to be willing to do it. It had to come from her saying, I'm willing to do this, forced to do it, voluntold, it's like
voluntold. Right. Do you think that's because she was so hardcore pro Darken Rahl, or do you think it's because she was sick of being a Mord Sith?
I think the part about it being voluntary, where she had to choose this, is based on the prophecy.
Okay, because I was going to say, do you think that's I was going to ask a separate question. Do you think that's a kind? Because it seems like a weird. Darken Rahl doesn't seem like the type of person who would be like, oh, yeah, I don't want you to die if you don't want to.
Right. Yeah, no. I mean, if it had been any other way, other than for sake of fulfilling prophecy, I think he would have ordered somebody to do this. And with Denna being the best at this, he would have ordered her to do it before. But because of the way prophecy is, probably it had to be he had explained this to her and let her voluntarily agree to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Prophecy is weird. Prophecy is one of those things. You think it means one thing when you read the words, but then it doesn't quite work out that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So she suspected that Richard was going to be the one when he hurt Violet, but she damn well knew it when he killed the guards.
Right. That was confirmation for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he shouldn't have been able to. Because she was like, I had your shit locked. And you went crazy.
He should have been able to do Violet, so that was my first hint. But when he killed those two guards, no.
Yeah. She asks if he'll remember her. And he says that he will have nightmares for the rest of his life. And she seems proud.
She's like, oh, that's so sweet.
He is so touched by that. Oh, that's so sweet. You know? And she's like, this Kaylin, you really love her, right? It's like, yeah, how you know about Kaylin? It's like, well, usually you torture them and they'll call out for their mommy or they'll call out for the wife. But the only person you ever called out for was this Kaylin person. Will you mate her? And it's like, I can't because she's a confessor and it would destroy me. And she's like, this hurts you? It's like, more than anything you ever could have done. It's like, I'm so glad.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
It is sweet because she is not the worst thing that ever happened to Richard. She doesn't have to feel that bad. She should probably feel a little bad.
But that's not, like, she is happy about it in a different, twisted way. She's happy about it because, like, I give you pain because I care about you. So her giving you pain means that she cares about you more.
Right. She has this inverted view because of the torture for all these years where giving pain in a certain way is about love. And she knows that this Kaylin person can give him so much more pain if she ever could. That's her view of an even greater love than what she has for Richard. At least on one part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You love her so much that pain is so exquisite for you that it's just so romantic.
It's so nice. But he reassures her that nobody can equal her in, like, the torture pain because she's not going to do that to him. So you're going to hold your special place there. Don't worry. You're the best at that. And that's when Denna is like, can you wear my Agio?
And take my last breath of life.
Yeah. Getting real intimate.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when he goes ahead and he comes up and places he draws his sword and it doesn't ring like it normally does. It doesn't go ching.
Right. He goes.
Maybe I have to change the sound effect at the beginning of the show.
He goes to place it on her chest. He's like, no, dear, my heart's over here.
Yeah. She's like, aw, honey, it's here, though. Good try, though.
Get it right now.
And with the sword's magic, he feels absolutely zero resistance to the sword when he finally does stab her.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the reason that the blade turns white is literally because it's white hot.
When it turns white, that is the side that is all about love and forgiveness. And that's supposed to be so much more powerful than hate and everything. And so it brings out the white heat.
Yeah, so that probably is right. It probably is hot, and it just, like, sinks through stuff like butter.
Right. Hot knife through butter. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or in this case, hot knife through more Sith.
Yeah. Same thing. Same difference. He does hold her, like, while first he asks her if he could just, like, leave. If she'll just, like, let him go. And she's like, no, I'm a fucking Lord Sith, and I will torture you, so you gotta do it.
Yeah. You don't kill me, you're still mine.
Yeah. And then he puts his arm around her and cradles her, and then is also, like, kissing her while stabbing her, which is a super complicated, I feel like, motion. Maybe it's not that bad, but I feel like I would be very awkward about it.
Yeah, it would be a very weird position to be in. To touch somebody's shoulder, and a solid sword's going to be, give or take, 24 to 30 inches long, so you're going to be in a weird position.
His left hand be behind her head, I think, because the way he's going to kiss her. So he's going to be twisted off to the side a little bit, so that's going to line him up okay for the heart. But yeah, he's still going to be back a little bit, so.
Yeah.
But.
Just a little uncomfortable, but I mean, I guess the whole thing's uncomfortable, so.
Well, this whole time with the Lord Sith has been uncomfortable, so what's.
Very true.
What was a little awkward body position?
Yeah, I guess I'm bitching about the wrong thing at this point.
Oh, gee, I threw out my back. No, she didn't. Well, if he did have a bad back, all that traction, being suspended by his wrist and stuck in his spine out.
I mean, for sure, though, his shoulders are fucked.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The sword play that comes later is, I mean, pretty astounding for what happened here.
Oh, tell me about it. I dislocated my shoulder a couple of years ago because my cat tried to kill me. And I still have problems with that damn shoulder.
See?